Hi, today we're going to tell a story using story cubes. Story cubes are an excellent way of thinking of ideas for stories. They're beautiful dice, and each one has 6 different pictures on, and you can use them to tell a story. We're going to use, if you're an expert storyteller, use all 9 dice. We're going to use 4 today. I'm going to take them out. Give them a shake. Let's choose 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Give these a shake. What is the story going to be today? Okay, so we have these pictures. We have the world or a map. We have a footprint. We have a key lock, and we have an arrow. Now, when we write a story, we have to think about who are the characters, where does the story take place, the location, and what problem do they have? Okay, so I'm thinking, let me think. Let's put this one last. That one. Okay, I've got an idea. So I have to tell a story, and I have to include all 4 things in that story. So, let's go. Once upon a time, there was a village in Italy. And that village had lots of people who were very, very happy. In that village, there was a boy called Simon, and he dreamed of travelling the world and looking for adventure. Now, one night, the villagers were awoken by a very scary noise. They didn't know what it was. They all hid in their houses. The next morning, when they woke, they looked at their village and found the cow had been stolen. They were very sad because they loved that cow. It gave them milk every single day. And they were very sad. What shall we do to the villagers? Our cow's been stolen. Oh, I don't know, they said. They scratched their heads and didn't know what to do. A little boy called Simon, he said, I'll go and look for your cow. But the villagers laughed. You're just a boy. What can you do? Simon was very sad. But he was undeterred. He decided to go and look for the cow anyway. Someone or something had stolen that cow, and he was going to find out who. So, pause the story. Our character, we have Simon. We can write that in. We have Simon as a character. We have the cow as a character. Cow. And then we have something that stole the cow. And then we also have the villagers. Villagers. The location, we're over Italy. And it's the village. Okay, so far. And the problem, the cow has been stolen. Okay, so that's our story. Back to the story. Now, Simon knew that he had to go look for the cow. And what did he need if you're going on an adventure? You definitely need a map. There's our first picture. A map. He took his map and he thought, where can I go? Where haven't I been? Where do you think the cow might be? Over the mountains. Wow. Now, it might be a dangerous adventure, so I might need to take something to protect me. I'm going to take my bow and arrow. He was an expert with a bow and arrow, was Simon. He could shoot anything from any distance, and he always hit the spot. So, he took his map and his bow and arrow, and off he set up the big mountain. He climbed for days and days and days. He took food with him, And when he needed to, he took some water from the streams that was melting from the snow. He climbed further up, and eventually he reached the top. It's a good place to look up the mountain, and he looked and looked, and in the distance, he could see the cow. The cow was in a field. It was definitely their cow. And next to that field was a house with smoke coming out the chimney, so someone was there. And he listened very carefully. He can hear the cow moo. Moo. But he could also hear a grumbling noise. A grumbling noise from some kind of creature. Some kind of creature that might leave big footsteps. It was oh, so we've now got another character. We've got a creature. Creature. We don't know what it's called, question mark, but some kind of creature. So Simon set off down the mountain. It was quite scary. He didn't know what the creature was, why it stolen the cow, but he was being very brave and very courageous and was not going to give up. The villagers laughed at him, and he's going to prove what a brave person he was. So down the mountain he went, down the dangerous rocks, with using rope. Sometimes he nearly fell, but he was very brave. Eventually got to the bottom, and he looked, and he could see the house was closer, and it was definitely their cow. So he crept forward, and he crept, and he crept, and he wasn't sure what to do. Would he take the cow and just run? What happens if the creature saw him? The creature might take him as well. Or does he try and talk to the creature? Now, Simon was a very clever boy. Some people would just try and use a bow and arrow and shoot the creature, but Simon wasn't like that. The bow and arrow was the last resort. He would only use it if he absolutely had to. Simon decided to talk to the creature. So he walked up the steps to the house, and he knocked on the door, and he waited, and he could hear inside. And the creature with the big feet opened the door. And there he was, 7 foot tall, hairy, and looking angry. Simon was nervous. Simon thought, that's it. I'm going to be eaten any minute now. This thing's going to eat me. So Simon plucked up the courage and said, excuse me, that's our cow. Did you take him? Yes, I did. Well, why did you take our cow? Simon said. I was hungry. But that wasn't your cow to take. I know, but I'm very, very hungry. So now Simon was confused. Why are you so hungry? Isn't there any food here? No, the wizard took it all. Oh, wizard. Interesting. A wizard. Let's write another character. The wizard. He took it all, and he locked it in the castle. I don't have a key. I can't get it back. Sorry for stealing your cow, but I was very hungry. So, now, Simon said, don't worry, I'll help you. I can maybe open the door for you, or at least we can do it together. So the monster took Simon. The monster is called... what should monster be called? Jack, because Jack's a good name for a monster. So, Jack took Simon all the way down the lane up to the castle. It's had a very tall tower and a very big door, and the big door had a very big lock. Now, what can I use to open this lock, thought Simon. I don't know. I wonder if I can pick the lock and open it using my arrow. So Simon put the arrow in the lock, and he twisted it one way, twisted it the other way, and eventually, pop, the lock opened. The door creaked open, and the creature was right. Jack the monster was right. Inside was all Jack's food. So they both filled their pouches filled their pockets with all the food, and they ran, and they ran, and they ran all the way back to Jack's house. Thank you very much. You can have your cow back. Thank you, said Simon, and he took the cow, and they waved goodbye, and Simon thought, I'm so glad I talked to that monster. He wasn't scary after all. Simon spent the next 3 days walking back over the mountain with the cow, and he returned to his village, and the villagers were so surprised and so pleased to see their cow. And from that day onwards, the villagers didn't laugh at Simon. He was called Simon the Brave. And that's the end of our story. Snip, snap, snout. The story's out. So, I used these pictures. I thought of some characters, and I thought of a location, and I thought of a problem. Oh, another location we used, and it was the castle, the wizard's castle. You know? So we had Simon the cow, Jack the monster, the villagers, and the wizard. They are our characters. The location was Italy, a village in Italy, and a castle. And the problem was the cow had been stolen. And there's a second problem, wasn't there? What was the second problem? What problem did the monster have? He had stolen food. Or his food had been stolen. There we go. And that's our story. Now, I want you to have a go at the same thing. So I'm going to shake the dice and see. Let's throw different dice so you get different pictures. Let's see what you're going to get. Right, you have an eye, a bee, a fountain, and a turtle. Very good. I think you've got two characters straight away. You've got the bee and the turtle are characters. Now somehow they've got to solve a problem that's something to do with a fountain and something to do with an eye. Or that could be looking for something, an eye. It could be not being able to find something because it's seeing. What are you going to do? I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.